So in this today's lesson, we are going to understand the forms development in HTML. First, we have to understand what is the meaning of form. What is the real importance of the form in the real websites? And how to create the forms in HTML? What are the different tags for that? This type of things we have to understand. First, what is the meaning of form? Suppose you want to take a new SIM card. What will you do? You will fill up some application form, SIM card application form. There you will enter your details, your name, your father name, your date of birth, your Aadhaar card number, and other details. That will be application form for the SIM card. Similarly, you want to open a new bank account. You want to get the PAN card. You want to get your passport. You want to join in some college. So for all these things, you have to fill up some form. What the form exactly contains? Form is collecting some details about the particular user. Form collects details about the user. Similarly, in the websites also the forms are required. For example, registration form you want, login form you want, any kind of data entry form. So all these forms are collecting some details. And in websites, form is a collection of form elements. Form is a collection of form elements. What are the form elements? See, text boxes we have, check boxes we have, radio button we have, drop down list we have. These are some of the examples of form elements. Now, just try to notice here. Suppose if you take Facebook, and this Facebook consists of the different types of form elements. What are they? Text boxes it contains, drop down list it contains, radio buttons it contains. Like this, every form contains a set of form elements. And all these form elements are present inside the form. These are the members of the form. So what is form here? Form is mainly used to collect the data from the user. You want to collect some details about the customer. So then we have to go for the forms. In the websites, form is a collection of form elements. What type of form elements we have? Text boxes, check boxes, radio button, drop down list, all these things. And moreover, what are the different types of tags to create the forms? List of forms, list of tags to create forms. In HTML, we have a set of tags to create the forms. What are the set of tags? Listen, first we have a form tag, then we have input tag, text area tag, label tag, button tag, field set tag, legend tag, select tag, option tag, OPT group tag. These are the 10 tags to create the forms in HTML language. With the help of all these tags, we are able to create the forms. So form is a collection of form elements used to collect the details from the customer or user, and HTML provides 10 tags to create the forms. How to use all these tags? What is the purpose of each tag? How to use all these tags one by one? So this is what we have to understand exactly in the further lessons. First, let us see the first tag, that is a form tag. This is used to specify the form or create the form. This will specify the starting point and ending point of the form. Where the form begins, where the form ends, the form Starting and ending points are is explained by the form tag. For example, this is your form beginning point. So for this, what will you say? Form. And this is the total of your form. Here, lot of form elements it contains like text boxes, check boxes, everything. At last, you want to close it. So then you will write like slash form. So here the beginning point of the form, this is ending point of the form. In the middle, you can place a number of form elements, whatever you wish. So let's see the same in the program. We are using the editor Visual Studio Code. We can also use other editors like Edit Plus, Notepad++. Visual Studio is a code is a new and mostly used in real time. So just go to Visual Studio Code, go to File menu, New File. For every HTML program, HTML head, body, all these are provided. So inside the body, we have to place the tag called form tag. Save this. What is the file name? Form.html. Where you have to save it in C: UI 8pm. So select the location C: UI 8pm. You can give any folder. File name also can be anything. Extension should be .html. Click on save. Now to execute this, go to the particular folder where you saved it. Double click on the file to run. So then it will be opened in the browser. Now we have not created anything in the form. That's why you cannot see anything. Just you got the blank output. So this is the first example of the form, first part of the form. But in this form, there is nothing, no text boxes, no buttons, no check boxes, etc. Yes, we have to create the check boxes, radio button, drop down list, all these things through the remaining tags like input tag, text area tag, all this set of HTML tags. Mainly, we have to use input tag. Input is the main tag that we have to use for creating HTML elements. Like text boxes, check boxes, radio button. Most of the elements are created by using input tag only. So let's try to understand the input tag. The input tag is mainly used to create form elements such as text boxes, check boxes, radio buttons, file buttons, submit buttons, etc. So text boxes, check boxes, radio buttons, file buttons, all these types of things are created by using input tag only. And input is a unpaired tag. What is the meaning of unpaired tag? No need of closing. We will give the opening tag, but no need of closing. We will not write a slash tag. This one is not required. So whenever you don't write the closing tag, that you call it as unpaired tag. Input is an example of unpaired tag. How many how many unpaired tags we have in HTML? 6 unpaired tags. In the very beginning, I told actually BR, HR, IMG, meta, input, link. These are the unpaired tags. So input is one of them. Input is unpaired tags. So there is no closing tag for this. Directly we'll just mention input. There is no closing for this input tag. Okay, now this is mainly used for development of text boxes, check boxes, all these things I told. How to create each one? To create a text box, we have to use input type equal to text. Why we have to use text box? Text boxes are mainly used to collect some data or values from the user. So for example, here in the Facebook website, first name, surname, mobile, password, all these are text boxes where you can type some text. You can type some text here. So to accept some text information, we use the text box. Text box is mainly used to accept some text information from the user. So to create the text box, we have to specify input type equal to text. Here input is a tag, type is attribute, text is a value. Tag is a command, attribute is a detail about the command, and this is the value of the particular attribute. Now let us see this. Here we have input type equal to text. Yes, we got the text box now. Just check it. We got the text box. Now in this text box, we can type anything, whatever you wish. Means the user can type whatever he wish. The developer will make the HTML program, user will run it. So user can enter whatever he wish. Okay, so like this we can create any number of text boxes. BR means go to next line, and we have created 3 text boxes, so we can enter anything whatever we wish. But in which text box what value should be entered? Suppose there is a empty text box. Either user has to enter the name or email or mobile number, what should be typed? So we have to provide the description for this text box that we can do at the left hand side. So at the left hand side of the input tag, just we can provide a name, email, mobile, password, whatever we wish, we can just accept. Now this will be displayed in the web page. Now we can notice name. Okay, user can type the name, user can type the email, user can type the mobile number, whatever he wish, and password. See, the password is directly visible to the user. We don't want it, right? To convert into password text box, we have to go for the second type of input type, that is password. Input type equal to password is the second type of input, that is we have password text box now. User can type the password. So input type equal to text means you will get normal text box. Input type equal to password means you will get a password text box. So we have 2 types of inputs we have seen, a text box and a password text box. To create a normal text box, input type equal text. To create password text box, input type equal to password. Okay, same like this. Okay, just I want to accept browse button. To accept the browse button, we go for input type equal to file. Then we can display the browse button here. If you click on browse button, we can select any file, whatever we wish. For example, I'm just selecting some file. Okay, I'm just selecting some file. For example, img3.jpg something I'm selecting. That selected image file name will be displayed here. So where we have to use this in real time, suppose in Facebook or Gmail, you want to attach a file. Then what will you do? You will click on browse button. For file attachments, we have to use input type equal to file. For accepting normal text meta, input type equal to text. For accepting password, input type equal to password. For accepting the attachments, input type equal to file. Input type equal to file will create a browse button, and if we click on browse button, a file can be selected here. And now I want to create yes or no type of information. To accept yes or no type of information, we go for checkbox. Okay, this file is used to create accept file attachment from the user. And you want to offer yes or no type of option, user to display yes or no type of option to the user. Then we have to go for checkbox. What is the meaning of yes or no type of option? Now let's try to understand. For example, I'm asking you, hey bank customer, you want the checkbook facility? You're opening the new bank account right now. You are my bank customer. And I'm the banker. I'm just asking you, do you want a checkbook facility? You may either say yes or no. Okay. If you want the checkbook really, you will say yes, I want the checkbook facility. If you don't want it, you can go for no. So you have a choice, either yes or no. Do you want this or don't want this? So for this kind of situations, we have to go for checkbox. Whenever you want to provide yes or no type of option to user, we have to go for the checkbox. We can create the checkbox by using input type equal to checkbox. Input is a tag, type is attribute, text, password, file, checkbox, all these are the options or values inside the type attribute. So suppose I want receive newsletters. Receive newsletters. I'm asking the user, do you want to receive the newsletters? If he want, he will check the checkbox. If he don't want, he will uncheck the checkbox. Generally, the text will be displayed right side of the checkbox. So I'm just placing the text here. So first left hand side checkbox appear, right side it's the description. So if the user wants the receive newsletters, he will check the checkbox. If the user don't want the receive newsletters, he will uncheck the checkbox. Option is his wish. And suppose I want the checkbox by default should be selected at the time of page opening time itself. At the time of opening the page itself, I want the checkbox should be selected. Then what to do? We are giving checked equal to checked. By giving this option checked equal to checked, we can say that this checkbox should be by default selected while opening the page itself. So if you close and reopen the same, at the time of opening the page itself, directly the checkbox is selected notice. Of course, he can uncheck the checkbox if he don't want. But by default, at the time of opening the page itself, it is showing right. So in order to do that, we have to go for checked equal to checked. If the user don't want it, he can uncheck. But by default, the page launching time itself, the checkbox is checked. That is the meaning of receive newsletters. I'll give an example. Suppose you have a Book My Show website, movie ticket reservation website. There, while booking the ticket, you have an option book a smile. So if you check the checkbox, what happen? You have to pay 1 rupee extra along with the ticket price. You have to pay one rupee extra. So that amount will be given to orphans. So by default, at the time of opening the website itself, the checkbox is checked. If you don't want to pay that 1 rupee, you can uncheck the checkbox. By default, it is selected or not. How to make it by default selected? By giving checked equal to checked. Clear. Now, so now we have understood the checkbox. Next one, radio button. Okay, radio button is used to display a set of options to user and allow the user to select any one of them. I want to provide a set of options to user and allow the user to select any one of them that is run by using radio button. Then at what cases we have to show set of options. For example, you want to join in a company. Then suppose three companies job openings are available. Three companies job openings. One is one large MNC and the recruitment process will be very difficult. And other one is a medium level of company. Other one is a small company. It's a startup. You have the three options. So you will think which one is better for you as per your knowledge and as per your situations. Whichever is suitable for you, you can just apply for it, right? So that is an option for you. You have three options. You will choose any one of them. Otherwise, you have completed your MSET and you want to join some engineering. Different courses, different branches available. You can join in IT or CSE or EEE or whatever. So as per your interest, as per your marks, of course, you can choose any one. So these are what options. You have a set of options. Whichever you like, you can just choose. So if that is the intention, we have to go for the radio button. So here male, female available, right? That is what radio button. Any one of these you will choose. As per your requirement, you will choose any one of them, right? So to create such type of options to user, we go for radio buttons. Radio buttons may display two or more options. Here set of options means two or more. Don't think like only two options, two or more options to user. Let's take one example. Suppose there is a bank customer. The bank customer wants to open a new bank account and he has an option like savings account, current account and loan account. Either of these the user has to select. Then what to do? We have to go for the radio button here exactly because he has a set of options and any one can be selected. So if that is the case, you must definitely go for the radio button. Whenever in real time you have a set of options to user, like either of these should be selected means you must definitely go for the radio button. Just yes or no type means checkbox. Few options, any one should be selected means radio button. Remember this. And there is a problem here by default in the radio button. If you select the current account, it is also being selected. Actually, what you expect here, when you select one radio button, other previous radio button should be deselected automatically, but it's not happening really. Why? Because by default the web page will treat the each radio button as a separate group. But how do you maintain as a common group? By providing a common name. The name attribute specifies the logical name of the particular radio buttons, and you must provide a common name in order to group them. What is the name you have mentioned in the above? Suppose bank account. Same name should be repeated for remaining radio buttons also. Based on the common name, they will be grouped up together. So even though visually it has no change, when you select one option, automatically other options are being deselected, right? That is because of within the name only, within the same group, only one item can be selected at a time. That is what the rule. So in order to group them, we must provide a common name. If you don't give a name, what happens? Each radio button will be grouped up separately, independently. That's we never want it. It is compulsory to mention the name in order to group them. Next, also we have input type equal to reset. Input type equal reset means just you will get reset button. What is the use of this reset button? After entering some details, I just click on reset button. Observe carefully. I click on reset button. What happened? All the text boxes, all the check boxes, everything, all the fields will be cleared. It will reset to original state. At the time of opening the page, how it look like, it will go to that state. Whatever values we have entered, everything will be clear. So in order to clear the text boxes and other fields, we have to go for the reset button. By default, the name of the button is reset, and we can change it by using value. Value means instead of reset, we can give anything else, like suppose clear or clear data, anything. Now we can see clear, but still the functionality is same. It will automatically clear the text boxes. So this value only for display purpose. Type is actual name of the particular element. Just we have to place a table, and inside the table we have a tr. Tr indicates table row. Okay, and it will be having two tds inside it. First td contains the label. Second td contains the text box. Okay, this is one thing. Next, same like the same process you will repeat for remaining. Every field should contain a tr. In the first td you will place email, second td input tag. Right. Now we can see alignment, you can see name and email. Same like this. First td contains text, second td contains text box. The same like this again tr, td. Okay, like this we'll keep on repeating. So and just taken place this one also. That's all finished, right? Like this we can prepare. Okay, and moreover, so for this you can just keep the heading like registration form. So this one we can consider registration form. And I want to also create the login form. So same coding repeats. I just want to create which one? Login form. I'm just creating login.html. So same syntax repeats. Just only the change is you will just have username, password. That's all, no other fields. Just have username, password only. That is nothing but login form. So in both type of forms, both registration and login, there should be one type of button compulsory, that is submit button. To create the submit button, we use input type equal to submit. It will create a submit button for you. By default, you can see submit query, and we can change its text by using value. In the value, we can give anything, suppose register. Whatever you give in the value, that will be visible to the user. So this submit button will submit this data, send this data to server. On the server side, a server side program will receive the data and store the data into database. For example, in Facebook, after entering your details like a name and other details, I click on create account, right? The create account is nothing but submit button here. Even in the login form also, after entering our email and password, we click on login button. This is the submit button. So for every form, there should be submit button to submit the data or send the data to server. So on the server side, some other program will receive the data and store the data into database. That programs are developed by using either Java or .NET or Node.js, etc. Anyway, so when we go to the server side programs, then we can understand how to receive the data, how to store into database. So presently in the UI technologies perspective, we will not worry about how to store the data into database because UI is strict to UI only, user interface only. It never talk about how to store the data into database or how to retrieve the data from database. That is the concern of server side technologies like Java, .NET or Node.js, etc. Okay. So being in UI technologies point of view, only stick to UI. Okay. So this gap is happening, just a minute. This much gap should not come here. 1 minute. Yeah, BR is there. Unnecessary BR tag should be removed. Where BR. Yeah, here there is one by BR, right? Okay, that's all. Okay. Now we can notice the forms. Same like this, let's create a submit button in the login form also. So here input type equal to submit. By default, what the name will be displayed for the submit button? Submit query will be displayed. How to change it? By using value. The value can be anything, like can be sign in or log in, whatever you like. So we have seen a sample registration form and login form. In every website, compulsory there will be registration form, login form. Without registration login, there is no real-time project. So in that way, we have understood how to create registration form, login form in real time. Okay, right. So here we have learned different types of form elements like a checkbox, ready button, file, text box, password, submit button, and reset button. Input type equal to submit, input type equal to reset. This one user to submit data to server program. This is user to clear form elements. Okay, so we have understood all these things. Now the next thing that we have to understand how to submit the data to server and how to specify the action and method attributes in form tag. And also in the input tag we have different attributes like we have read-only attribute, disabled attribute, max length attribute, tab index attribute, different attributes we have. And also we have input type equal to image we have. Okay, input type equal hidden. This type of other types also we have to understand. So all these things we will do in the next lesson tomorrow.